Hi, my name is Carrie Timinia. I'm an energy worker and a love and dating and relationship expert. And I am so thrilled to have you here with me during my first of many moon talks with you. I've decided to create this resource as a way to help you not only create your own rituals around full moons, new moons, and major astrological events, starting with this Scorpio full moon, but also to help you use that information to understand yourself better, understand your relationships better, and to improve your interconnectedness in your life with yourself and with others as you move forward. So, this Scorpio super full moon could not be coming at a better time. We're going to talk about sort of the themes of this moon and this time in a few minutes. But I do want to just pause and just take a moment to say that considering everything that's been going on, the pandemic, this virus, however you've been experiencing these very unprecedented events, I want you to understand and to recognize that this moon, this Scorpio full moon, and the themes that come with it are really deeply appropriate for where we are as a collective and where you probably are as an individual. Scorpio, of course, as we all know, is always asking us to go deeper. It's the sign of depths. It is a fixed water sign that is concerned with your deepest and your darkest. And it sometimes can feel a little bit unrelenting and a little bit aggressive that way. And I've had people reach out to me over this time and really talk about how this moon just feels like it's too much. Like we've been dealing with enough as it is, and things have been hard enough as it is, and now, WTF, it's Scorpio super full moon asking us to dig even deeper and to look even further and to bring up the our stuff from the depths, and we just cannot. And if that's where you are, first of all, honor that feeling, because I get it. I think most people get it. This has been a very difficult time period, a very trying time period for many, many people. And the first step in honoring that for yourself is just to acknowledge that if this full moon feels like a lot, that's because things have been a lot. It's not that something is wrong with you. It's not that you can't deal. It's not that it's too much or that you are weak or that you are not enough or that you are not worthy. It is that things are genuinely unprecedented and difficult. And that's okay. And the really beautiful thing about Scorpio is that a lot of people focus on sort of, again, that unrelenting, digging deeper, peeling back the layers, looking for more, going into the depths version of Scorpio. But the beautiful thing about Scorpio, and the thing that I appreciate the most about this sign and about this moon, is not only that it does push us deeper and it does push us further and it does push us to explore the deepest and the darkest and the depths of ourselves, but that it doesn't just do it for the fuck of it. Like, Scorpio's not pushing us, and Scorpio's not asking us, and we're not digging for no reason, just to suffer, just to be miserable, just to, take a look at what's buried and what we don't want to look at, just so we can just, have the hard experience. Because Scorpio is the sign of death and rebirth. And everything that Scorpio asks us to do, everything that Scorpio pushes us toward, is all for the purpose of bringing us to a place of rebirth. Because Scorpio doesn't ask us to handle the death bit without promising the rebirth bit. And that's what's gorgeous about this. That's what's so aligned about this full moon and this part of our experiences, as we start to begin to explore what it might look like to emerge from this situation. We start to begin to explore what it might look like for us to come out of our houses, come out of isolation, reopen businesses, however that happens, whatever timeline that happens on. As we start to explore those ideas, we have an opportunity as individuals to choose, what does normal now look like? What do we have and what are we given And what can we choose as far as what are we bringing back with us? What does our rebirth look like? And that's the gorgeous gift of Scorpio, is you get to, yes, deal with the hard, deal with the deep, deal with the death, but you get to have an experience and start to participate in this rebirth that can be really gorgeous, that can be really opportunistic, that can really, really be a beautiful place for you to say, you know what, I'm leaving that back here and I'm moving forward. I'm leaving this to die. I am leaving this to be let go of. I am leaving this because it no longer serves my best and highest good, and I am going to move forward without it because here is what I'm creating. And that's the promise that Scorpio gives us. Scorpio, in addition to that, is concerned with what is true. It's concerned with what is authentic. And because this particular Scorpio full moon is aligned with Mercury, it is asking us and giving us this really specific opportunity to begin to explore how we can communicate our needs and our wants and our desires. How can we communicate with compassion what it is that we need, what it is that is important to us moving forward, not only to the people that we're in relationship with, but also with ourselves, because we don't always have, honest communication with ourselves, and it can be equally as detrimental to not be honest with ourselves as it can be to not be honest with other people in relationships. So again, this full moon comes with this really special opportunity to say, okay, where am I needing to communicate more authentically? Where am I needing to communicate with compassion in a way that is true to me and true to myself and the person, the rebirth that I'm creating? So again, you have this gorgeous question of, where am I needing to vocalize and verbalize my needs and my feelings and my wants and desires to the people in my life, but also to myself, as an act of loyalty to who I am and who I'm becoming. And it also invites us to, in that same vein, in that same kind of digging up and unearthing and releasing, it's asking us, what are we leaving behind? What are you not taking with you into the rebirth? What are you not wanting? What isn't serving your best and highest good anymore? And maybe we can just leave it over here because you don't need it moving forward, because this rebirth version of you, this more authentic version of you, this human version of you that is aligned with your highest and best self, doesn't need this thing anymore. So it's inviting us to leave things behind. It's inviting us to create this vision of our rebirth. And it's also really, really, really asking us, because we're communicating with our authentic selves and our authentic feelings and our authentic desires, it's really asking us, where have we picked up things along the way? Beliefs, limitations, emotions, trauma. Where have we picked up things along the way that really are not true to us? What have we believed up until this point that is not aligned with this rebirth version of us, with who we're becoming? And so I really, really want to challenge you to push deep as you're digging through the stuff that comes up that the Scorpio full moon is gonna bring up, because it's gonna come up. I want to challenge you to start to ask yourself, what don't I need? What is coming up for me in my relationships and my interactions that isn't mine, that isn't true or isn't serving me? And can I leave that here? Can I release it? Can I use the power of this full moon and this, a divine time that we have been granted to say, I'm done with this because it didn't belong to me? What baggage are you carrying that's not yours? What beliefs are you carrying that you don't need anymore? What stories have you adapted and accepted about yourself that aren't true of who you actually are? And can your rebirth, can your post-Scorpio moon rebirth include a version of you that is more authentic than any version of you that has existed in this life as a human being? And what does that look like for you? And this is, again, the gift of this Scorpio full moon is giving you. It's such a gorgeous, very aligned, very timely process that we're being invited to participate in. And I'm so, so excited to see how this moves forward for myself and for you, for every person that I'm connected with, because I think it's just so good. Another really big theme that I'm just going to touch on concerning Scorpio, I keep looking at the side, I have notes over here. Another big theme that I really want to touch on when it comes to the Scorpio sign in general, but the Scorpio full moon, is embracing our shadow. Because in the same, the same coin of what have I adapted, what have I accepted, what have I taken on that does not belong to me that I'm going to leave over here, on the same, the flip side of that coin is what parts of myself, what desires, what wants, and what needs. Again, this fits right into that Mercury alignment of how are we communicating our wants and needs and desires. But what wants and needs and desires and parts of myself that are in my shadow that I've been ignoring, that I've betrayed, that I have hidden, that I have stifled, that I've avoided looking at because they're painful, they're difficult. I was told that they were wrong. I was told that they were unacceptable, but in reality, they are a part of my whole being. And can we use this again as an opportunity to integrate those things back into this rebirth version of you that's coming? It's just such a gorgeous, whole, holistic process that we're getting to engage in. So I'm really excited for our tapping meditation together around these themes. I'm really, excited for you to explore these journaling questions, to see what comes up for you, and how you can honor yourself, really honor yourself moving forward. And again, honoring your authentic self, not the version of you that you've created to appease other people, because now is not the time for that. And when it comes to your relationships, again, whether you're in a relationship right now, whether you're dating, everything is about this full moon is really asking you to show up in your connections. And again, I don't care if you're married and living together, you're together but not living together, you're on Tinder messaging with people, however your relationships are occurring. Scorpio full moon is asking you to evaluate, how am I being authentic in my connections? Am I being authentic in my connections? How am I communicating my wants and my needs and desires? And am I doing that in a way that honors my authentic self without fear, but also with compassion? And where have I been editing myself? So a big theme that I talk about with clients and with women, groups of women who are either navigating relationships or they're on the dating scene, is how we have a tendency to edit ourselves to be more acceptable, to be different, to be more likable, to be more pleasing to whomever we're trying to attract. And like Scorpio full moon is done with that shit. So like Scorpio full moon is not tolerating us editing ourselves for acceptance. It's asking us to, again, integrate all these parts of us that we've been avoiding, integrate the parts of us that even we have deemed unacceptable because of outside pressure, and to say, I am ready to show up in my connections and my relationships as my full, whole, authentic self, because I believe that I'm worthy of love as I am. And believing that you're worthy of love as you are is the biggest shift that you'll make in your relationships, basically ever. So again, how is that showing up in your relationships? And I've included some of those questions in the journaling prompts that I've included at the bottom of this video. So definitely check those out. It will be a really great opportunity after we do this tapping to explore those questions, be really honest with yourself, and use this full moon as an opportunity to really embody all of the shadow side of you and kind of rebirth yourself into the world as that amazing version. If you have any questions about any of that, or the Scorpio full moon, or how it will affect a specific relationship or you specifically, definitely drop me a comment. And otherwise, we're going to jump right into the tapping. If you're new to EFT tapping, it is an energy meditative practice that I use consistently in my own practice, in my own life, and it is very, very accessible. It's very simple, and it works. All you have to do is follow along with me. We're going to use acupressure to stimulate certain acupoints on our body. So you'll tap or press the points that I tap or press, and you'll repeat what I say out loud if you can. And there's really no right or wrong to this, so you should feel feel good while you're doing it either way. Starting on the side of your hand, so anywhere here on the side, just lightly tapping with 2 or 3 fingers. And you can follow along with me. Even though I have spent a lot of my life being what everyone else thought I should be. And I have spent so much time and so much energy making myself more acceptable. Right here and right now, I'm okay. And I truly and deeply love and accept my whole self. Even though I have not always honored myself and who I really am. And there are parts of me that I've kept hidden. Right here and right now, I'm okay. And I truly and deeply love and accept myself anyway. Even though there are times that I have betrayed myself. And I've kept quiet. And I've tried to please others. And I didn't communicate what I needed. Right here and right now, I'm okay. And I truly and deeply love and accept my whole self. Moving to your eyebrow point, which is right at the beginning of your eyebrows here. You can use both hands or one. I forgive myself. Side of your eye. I choose in this moment to forgive myself. For all the times that I made myself smaller. For all the times that I betrayed myself for the sake of someone else. And on your chin. I have not always been good. At honoring who I am. Your collarbone. I picked up a lot of stories along the way. About who I was supposed to be. About how I was supposed to look. About how I should act. About how I should speak. And I acknowledge, under your arm, that in those moments, I was doing the best I could. I was just doing the best that I could. Continuing to your eyebrow. I didn't know any better. I was trying to be safe. Under your eye. I wanted to be loved and accepted. Under your nose. I didn't know any better. On your chin. I was doing the best I could. Collarbone. That was then. And this is now. And now I can choose something different. Under your arm. Under this full moon, I have the divine opportunity to choose something different. I choose to honor myself. I choose to honor my full self. Your eyebrow. Exactly as I am right now. That was then. And this is now. And now I choose to honor myself. With every fiber of my being. I choose to honor my full, authentic self. The light and the dark. I am worthy of love. I don't need to betray myself anymore. And I recognize that as I learn to choose myself, I will attract others who do the same. And moving back to the side of your hand, even though this Scorpio full moon feels a little overwhelming and a little unrelenting, I choose to be grateful for this opportunity. Even though I'm not sure I have the energy to do any more deep digging. I choose to honor this part of the process. And I'm grateful for the rebirth that follows. Even though digging deep can be scary and daunting, I choose in this moment to remember I am safe. And that all parts of me are inherently acceptable and inherently lovable, no matter how deeply I may have buried them. Moving to your eyebrow point. I don't know if I want to dig deep. It feels really hard. And some of those things that I have buried, I buried for a reason. I don't want to dig deeper all the time. And I don't want to look at those things all the time. And that's okay. I honor my feelings. I honor where I am right now. I honor the place that I am in this exact moment. I honor my full, authentic self. I acknowledge any feelings of resistance I may have. And I honor those too. I choose to view this as an opportunity. I choose to view this as an opportunity to know myself better. And I choose to remember that all parts of me, even my shadow, are inherently acceptable, inherently worthy, and inherently lovable. And by looking at those parts of me, by digging deep, like this full moon in Scorpio is asking, and by integrating the parts of me that I have kept hidden, or deemed unacceptable, I am showing myself more love. This is a way of loving myself. And I choose to be totally here for it. I'm ready. I'm ready for my rebirth. Moving back to the side of your hand one more time. Even though there are so many parts of me that I've denied. And so many stories I've accepted along the way. I choose in this moment to focus on what is next. And I am grateful for my whole authentic self. Even though this time in my life has been deeply challenging. I choose to focus on the path in front of me, one step at a time. I am creating my own rebirth. And I love and accept my whole self. Even though I have a deep dark shadow and deep dark waters, and this Scorpio full moon is pulling at them with insistence. I choose to be grateful for this magic in my life. And whatever I leave behind will be okay. And I have an opportunity to only bring with me what serves my best and highest good. And I am eternally grateful. Moving again to your eyebrow point. This is my opportunity. The deeper I dig with Scorpio, the greater my rebirth will be. I am grateful for this time of magic. I choose in this moment to focus on the path forward. And I know that I can use this time to leave behind anything that isn't serving me. This is my moment to see it for what it is. This is my moment to allow the light of this Scorpio full moon to illuminate what I no longer need. This is my moment to put it down. Whatever isn't mine to carry, I can put down now. Baggage, rules, expectations, versions of myself that were never really myself. I choose to release them now. And while they may have served me before, in this moment, I choose deep authenticity. I choose the version of me that is actually me. I choose the priorities and the expectations that speak to my soul. I choose alignment. I choose radical self-acceptance. I choose a rebirth that lights a fire inside of me. I choose to emerge from this Scorpio full moon as a fully integrated, whole and present individual. An expression of my best and highest self. And I release anything that doesn't play well with that picture. And so it is. I am grateful for this opportunity. I am grateful for this time. I am grateful for myself and every aspect of my being. Take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. And to close this round of tapping, I like to end on the gamut point, which is actually right between the knuckle of your pinky and the knuckle of your ring finger. There's sort of a soft spot right here. And you'll just press that point as you hold one hand over your heart and repeat after me. There are parts of me that have been healed by this. And there are parts of me that have not yet been healed. The parts of me that have not yet are willing to learn from the parts that have. My mind, body, spirit, and energy system are accepting that information now. New neural pathways. The information transfer is complete. I am grateful. Thank you. Together, divine. Thank you so much for joining me for this meditative ritual. Thank you so much for honoring me with your space, with your time, with your attention. Now is a really great opportunity not only to jot down any thoughts, any feelings, any emotions that may have come up during the tapping that we did, but also to take a look at those journaling prompts, those Scorpio full moon journaling prompts that I provided for you. They are powerful questions that will help you dig deeper into some of the themes of this full moon. Remember that if you don't get to this full moon ritual or to completing it on the night of the actual full moon, which is May 7th, you can continue to work through these themes and this particular full moon magic for up to 2 weeks beyond this event. So the magic of this moon is going to kind of continue. It's amplified because it's a super full moon. So I just encourage people to continue to work through those themes, see how they're showing up in your life, continue to do that work for all the way through, again, the next 2 weeks. Those themes are going to be coming up. And you'll be shown those places where you can, start to communicate your needs or leave those things behind. Thank you again so much for joining me. I hope this served you well, and happy full moon to you.